everyone, and welcome to this United episode of Top Deck Thoughts. My name is LevDev, also known as PGD Hansen on Twitter. For this episode, we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite cards from the new Magic the Gathering set, Dominaria United. A set with legendary creatures aplenty, heroes, villains, and the return of the main Phyrexian threat in the main storyline. Be careful, though. There are Phyrexian sleeper agents abound. Could be you. Could be me. Could even be my editor. However, that's a topic for another day, I think. Well, let's talk about my top 10 favorite cards from Dominaria United. But before we get started, though, let's talk about my honorable mention, which is, in this case, is a return of a favorite planeswalker, Karn, Living Legacy. Now, this new addition in the line of Karn planeswalkers have been very, dare we say, decisive among the community. Some say this card is an absolute trash can, while others say this card is potentially a hidden gem. What's my take? Well, the fact that if I put it on the honorable mentions should probably give a hint. But let's get the elephant out of the room. Is this technically the worst Karn of the history of the Karns we got in the history of Magic? To put it bluntly, yup. Now, is this a bad card per se? That, I would say no. Now, one reason why this card is a hard card to sell is due to one simple fact. It really does not protect itself. Both Karns plus and minus give you resource, but at a cost. The +1 is a loss of tempo since the Power Stone tokens comes in tapped, and the -1 is technically a loss of mana for the card draw. So why did I put this card on the honorable mentions with all of its downsides? Well, to be honest, it's a few things. One, it's still a colorless planeswalker that can be put into any deck, and a variety of deck designs can still take advantage of this card, as well as that the decks that will like this planeswalker, in theory, will be high-value artifact decks or any decks with activated abilities to take advantage of the Power Stone tokens. I do think there is an argument for the card in a sorcery-style control deck, since the -1 can fish you a card you need at the right moment. If you need a board wipe, -1 and put it in just a few mana to fish the necessary board wipe. Counterspell, removal, etc., etc. You can even use Power Stone tokens to activate the -1 to fish for spells so you can save your colored mana for those specific control spells you need. However, I think the strongest part of the card is definitely the ultimate. The ultimate is a pretty strong effect that you can get to pretty easily in the right deck. Like, for example, we have, like, Urza's and Symbols the Titans, which, due to its third step, you can actually get to the ultimate pretty quick. Still, at the end of the day, it's a janky card. And, well, with this channel, there's always a home for some janky cards. And that's why Karn is an Living Legacy is an honorable mention.
Number 10.
Number 10 on my list is Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. Okay, let's go from a planeswalker that's a bit janky to a very strong one. Jaya does a lot for 4 mana. Its +1 can protect itself and make a nice aggressive creature in the right decks. Its -1 is Impulse Card Draw, which in mono red / dual color aggro decks is just absolutely awesome. Its -2 can also be very good in go wide decks, since it just can take out one pesky lifelink blocker to let your full team go swinging in. Just make combat really awkward for your opponent. While it's probably going to be rare to get to Jaya's ultimate, it's still one not to sleep on in Doubling Season style EDH deck designs. Double my Lightning Strikes and other powerful red instant sorcery spells? Yes, please. Oh, Jaya is going to be a fun card to play in this upcoming meta in a variety of deck designs.
Number 9.
Number 9 on my list is the Shadowrite Priest. Okay, With Dominaria United, we got a very cool rare cycle of monocolored lords for specific tribes. The popular ones are all there: goblins, merfolks, elves, soldiers, etc. For this list, we're going to focus on a pretty powerful cleric lord in Shadowrite Priest. This cleric bearer buffs up all your clerics, and like other lords in the cycle, have a secondary ability. This time, it's an activated ability to sacrifice another cleric for 5 mana to tutor for any black creature card at instant speed. Wow. While the ability does have a heavy mana cost, what you get out of it is a very strong effect. You can go tutor for any black creature card in the history of Magic. Need any demon that had a contract with Lily, aka Lascat, Grizzlebrand, etc.? Sacrifice a cleric. Need a nifty tech creature card, like I would say like a Plague Engineer? Sacrifice a cleric. Need the scariest, most horrifying creature in Silver Border Magic? Infernius Bonington III Esquire? Just sacrifice a cleric. This will probably be a mainstay in EDH decks that would love this tutor ability, and it's safe to say I'll be trying out some janky brews with this nifty cleric. Number 8 on this list is a Johnny Sleeper Agent. Well, there is the Sleeper Agent. Oh, before we continue, hey, Jen! Come here.
Flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay, that's what you get for doing what you did to the cat dad and the death of my fire grandma. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. While it is very sad to see the loss of a fan-favorite walker, this card is pretty strong. The plus gives you a scry card draw, and the -3 will be very nifty in decks that have a strong turn 1 to turn 2 creatures. Heck, Raise the Alarm instant spell, or even that creature we got that is at uncommon in Dominaria United that's Raise the Alarm. On turn 3, and then turn 4, make those 1 or 2 of those token creatures into a nicely static creature? Yes, please. That pays the bills regarding to the Planeswalkers minuses. Also, its ultimate is very easy to get to and has a scary clock-like effect for your opponent. This will be a nice addition to Atraxa EDH decks, as well as just will be a fun card for Standard. Although, still sad. And also, now I'm scared who will be the next Planeswalker completed. I guess we'll find out soon? Maybe? I guess time will tell. Number 7 on this list is Leyline Binding. So, we're in a meta where we have Triomes. This can be a 1 to 2 mana flash Oblivion Ring removal. Not much to say here. Great removal for multicolored deck designs. Safe to say your opponent's stuff is going to taste the rainbow! Number 6 on my list is Ratadrabic of Urborg. Look, as many people know, I love my Tazri Rainbow Party Tokens list. This zombie is a party member, being a wizard, and has a strong token effect for legendary creatures dying. That is great for my EDH deck. EDH aside, this will also just be fun to try in Standard. While I'm not sure it to be a meta card per se, there is a lot of fun jank you do with this zombie wizard making non-legendary copies of legendary creatures. For example, with Luxior, make your Planeswalker into a creature. When it dies, make a 2/2 zombie Planeswalker card. That's hilarious. With the Ghost Shintai Shrines from Neon Dynasty, zombie shrines. The list can go on. Safe to say, this will be a fun wizard to make some legendary zombie shenanigans. Well, I guess technically they're non-legendary zombies, but you get my point. My number 5 on the list is the Weatherlight Compleated. Okay, first lesson. This is why you don't use Phyrexian Tidbits as camouflage for your vehicle. This happens. Second lesson. This card is probably going to be one of the better board wipe insurance cards in the meta. With the exception of Fairwear and other exile board wipes, this gives you so much value when that occurs. as well as just becoming a 5/5 creature that can later draw you cards? It's safe to say this card will be tested in aristocrat-based deck designs, but it'll be interesting to try this in other decks as just a card to play when you expect a board wipe. Time will tell how this oily flying abomination will see play, but we'll likely see play one way or another. Also, Tezzeret can just make this a creature, so... thanks? I think?
Number 4.
My number 4 on my list is the Relic of Legends. One of the cooler and stronger Manalith rocks we had in quite a while. This, in any decks with a large amount of legendary creatures, will be a significant ramp/fit scene. A thing to note, due to the wording of this card, you can tap a legendary creature even with Summoning Sickness to net a mana. This can be very useful to add more board presence, or just hold up a combat trick / also protect your creature and board. Overall, the versatility of that second clause, as well as just some much needed flavor text in this time and age, makes this card perfect for this list. Number 3 on the list, we all know it was coming. Liliana of the Veil. One of the more popular cards to ever get a reprint in Standard for quite a while now, this free mana Liliana has shown its power in modern / also eternal formats. From what we've seen so far in the first week of Standard, it's showing to also be a strong Standard card as well. Turns out the Edict effect you get is just very strong in the standard mana at the moment, as well as the +1 fishing out cards from your opponent's hand at the right time. Also, first time this card will be in Pioneer, and it's safe to say that Greasebane decks are waiting for Liliana to help them with their Parhelion driving needs. So yeah, without a doubt, Lily had to be on this list.
Number 2.
My number 2 on this list is Zur, Eternal Schemer. So, yeah, since we both have Pharaohs as well as the recent Neon Dynasty enchantment creatures, this is kind of a fun and powerful lord for those creature types. However, the thing that makes this card get on the list is the activated ability. Turns out making your enchantment removal, looking at Leyline Binding here, into creatures with Zur's enchantment creature lord effect is very strong. Already had way too much fun with this card in early access with Shrines, but this can just also be nifty card in control-based deck designs as well. Keep an eye on this little flyer through the standard season. Also, this is great in EDH to just make your legendary enchantments into creatures that then when they die can become zombies thanks to Ratadrabic. Man, I love this set.
Number 1.
And for me, my number 1 card in Dominaria United, and this one is going to be a no-brainer, it had to be Jodah the Unifier. Probably one of the best 5-color legendary tribal cards and commanders we got in quite a while. Legendary Coat of Arms? Sure. Legendary Cascade? Why not? There's just a lot of fun ways to brew around this card for both in Standard as well as other Eternal formats. Legendary Human Tribal, Wizard Tribal, Super Friends. Just name any legendary permanent that can be cast, and it can be potentially tribal thanks to my number 1 favorite card in Dominaria United. And that is the list. So, what do y'all think? Any cards that missed the list that are your favorites? Post them in the comments below. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe for more videos and Arena Brew shenanigans. You can also follow me on Twitter under the tag PGD Hansen. Hope you all have a good and have a nice completed evening. Something got stuck in my throat. Nevertheless, see y'all later. Well, I better go check on that thing.